and welcome to Coffee and Card with Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk. I'm an independent UK Stampin' Up demonstrator, and we're in July 2000. I'll say that again. July 2023, and this month we're using the two-tone Flora and beautiful floral stamp set, but no sentiments. So I've used a variety of sentiments, but what I'm going to try and do is use sentiments we've used in Coffee and Card before, because you probably have those. This one actually is from Nature's Print, and you don't have this unless you bought it on your own. I've never done a Coffee and Card with it, largely because I've only just bought it, but I love it, so I suspect you will be seeing it soon, possibly as soon as September, in the Coffee and Card. Right, so what I'm going to try and do is make this card with a sentiment I know you've probably got if you've done a previous one. So I'm going to look at the sentiments in Circle Sayings today. Okay, so I'm also going to change up the colour combination. I've done this really neutral for you, so you can use whatever colours you want. Most of you have got a smoky slate or a grey, which will work. Any neutral will work. And one of the colour combinations Stampin' Up suggests you use with smoky slate is Berry Burst and Crushed Curry, which I have to say would not have occurred to me. But yeah, should we give it a go? So that's what we're going to go for today. So I'm going to do the detail in the crushed curry. Sorry, the background in the crushed curry, and then the detail in the Berry Burst, and let's see what happens. I suspect it'll be a lot less subtle than this combination is. Right, so we'll get on. Just pop that to one side for now. Okay, we'll just get it out. So I've made a 13.5 centimetre square card blank out of thick whisper white thick basic white for you. You may feel this is an odd size. It's a really easy size for me to get envelopes for, which is why I've chosen it. It's very easy to get this size envelope. Hence you have the envelope that the card fits in, a card blank. I've cut you out the little banner, which is also from the Nature's Prints. It's Natural something or other is the die set. Can't remember what it's called, sorry. And then we've got a basic white square to put everything onto. Oops. Your smoky slate square, and then your white for your stamping and die cutting. There's nothing to say you have to use that smoky slate square. It's 13 centimetres square, so if you want to use different colours on this, it's really easy. Just go to your stash and cut out a 13 centimetre square of whatever colour you want, and then you can just go ahead. Right, so we'll start with some stamping, and I'm going to stamp my flowers first. So I come and go with these, whether it's best doing the background first or best doing the detail first. And I think I did decide oh gosh, this is stuck. I'm best doing the background, the detail first, because if you've got a subtle colour in the background, then it's harder to line up the stamps. So I've put these on their blocks, and I've already put them so that they're, if you like, the right way up. So, and I use there's a little sort of cutout here, sort of a arc, and I use that to guide me lining them up. So I have got, this is a brand new stamp ink pad. Woohoo! Excuse me, a brand new Berry Burst ink pad. Excuse me. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that away and stamp the infill. This is very much looking like it needs a re-ink. Oh dear, should have checked that before I got it out. Oh, it'll do, it's fine. Okay, and I'm just going to, you can see here they've got that little arc, and I'm lining that up with the arc on here. So if you fill that in the gap there, and you generally, if you've got that right, everything else is. I think I'm slightly off, but they are right. It does go, doesn't it? I am liking that. Very different look from the other one. Okay, so it's those two finished with. And I'm just going to pop that away and stamp the infill. This is very much looking like it needs a re-ink. Oh dear, should have checked that before I got it out. Oh, it'll do, it's fine. Okay, and I'm just going to, you can see here they've got that little arc, and I'm lining that up with the arc on here. So if you fill that in the gap there, and you generally, if you've got that right, everything else is. I think I'm slightly off, but they are right. It does go, doesn't it? I am liking that. and then there's the 2 smaller flowers. Now again, now on these, because I had so much fun trying to line these up, I've actually put little black marks on the stamps themselves where they line up, because it's easier that way. Because there is 5 little holes in the middle, but they were really quite difficult to line up to. So back to our berry burst. So you've plenty of card, and I've given you plenty of card so that you can try it a couple of times, just in case they don't quite line up right. So that's 1. That's 2. Pop that away. And now with my crushed curry. Again with the line straight up. Just stamping around to make sure I've got enough ink on, as I say, and I'll be re-inking that when I'm finished. Okay. It's so warm here, my glasses are sliding down my nose. So I've just lined up the 5 dots in the middle. And again, lining up the 5 dots in the middle. And there we go. 3 beautifully stamped flowers. Very different from the original. And then I need 2 lots of the leaves in smoky slate. Right, or whatever colour you've decided to use as your background colour. Okay, and I'm just going to pop these here. So there's 1. Another 1. And there's 2. And I'm going to use my small die cutting machine to cut those up. So I'm just going to make the pieces of card a bit smaller. I'm just going to chop it up a little bit. So, just because it's easier to line it up when things aren't hanging off the end, and definitely when things aren't hanging off the side. Okay. So I'll put those to one side and get out my little machine. And I will get out the dies, which I have hidden under a pile of stuff. Here they are. Okay, so loads of dies. This is, I've tried to use the background die as an embossing folder, and I think that's worked really well. And then I've got some background dies that I cut out. I always keep those in with the stuff I haven't used. And then we need the roundish flower, the second flower, and the leaves. Okay, and I always sort of work out a particular petal. So I'm looking at this one here with sort of 3 lumps, and I'm thinking, and I'd be right, that that is that petal. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on there and line it up as best I can without getting in the camera way. And try not to make it move when I let go. Oh, for goodness sake. I think because it's so warm, I am tending to stick to everything. It fools you a little bit, this stamp, because it's got these white areas and then tiny little yellow areas past it. Ugh, so you think you're lined up and you're not. I know that move, but I'm going for it. I think it's largely in the right place. We are handcrafted. mass produced in a factory in China. Ta-da! Oh yes, not bad. Not bad. Right. So that's one. I'll pop that back down. And then we'll get this one. And what are we going to look? So there's one, let's see, there's one there that's got a little bit of an extra lump, and then there's a bubbly one next to it, and I think, yeah, that's it. And so it's easier to sort of put a little bit of thought in it rather than just sit there spinning the die round and round. Determined to move these dies today. It is so hot. Mind you, having said that, I'll be in Florida when you're watching this, so it'll be really hot there. So, probably queuing up for the Incredible Hulk ride in Universal, because I shall be spending quite a bit of time doing that. You see, I didn't think about it and I've lost my little one. It's there. It is there. Not quite. Yay, happy with that. So 2 flowers. And then 2 leaves, or 3 flowers rather, and 2 leaves. A little bit easier this. Line up your points of your stems, line up a couple of leaves. And here, there. And repeat. Happy with that. Then I've got 2 little pieces that are stuck in this die, and it will cut with these little bits in, but if you leave them in, they sort of they're harder to get out, to be honest, because if you've got several layers of paper in there, and eventually that will affect your die cutting, so you don't want that. Your dies are an investment, you want to look after them. And there's the other one. Okay. So just put this out of the way. We just need to choose a sentiment to go on here. So I'll bring everything back in and let's have a look at our circle sentiments. So now, unfortunately, let's just double check. Yeah, the images on the front are 85% the size of the images that it actually stamps. So you need to measure it against the stamps. So I am thinking, yeah, that would work. I think thank you just fits. Smile would be nice, wouldn't it? Happy birthday will fit, but I think it might be a bit small. So I think I'm going to do the thank you, because I can't think who I'd send. I suppose I'd send my daughter a "You're totally awesome" card. And certainly my granddaughter. She's only 4, I'm not sure she'd like it. It's not got any cartoons on it for start. If it had Paw Patrol on, then we'd be fine. Oh, it's very warm. It is very warm, she whispered. So I'm going to use the thank you, and I think I'm going to use the berry. Oh no, yeah, because it's a much brighter card, I am going to use the berry burst on this. So just popping that sort of towards the centre. You could always add some bling either side if you wanted. Now we are ready to assemble the card. So what I like to try and do first is just lay out how I want it. Okay, so we're going to have our thank you sort of in the top corner there. It does look nice actually on there. I quite like that, even the small central but on the larger. Label. Is it a label? Are we calling it a label? So I'm wanting that rose somewhere sort of down the bottom, and then this one coming round, and then I'm going to pop these leaves just underneath and up there. So I think we're about there. So this is when the fun starts, because I'm trying to glue it. Oh, move my ball. I should have checked. I don't like it when it's not straight. There we are. We're back to straight. It'll have moved while I was die cutting. So what I'm going to do is get my glue ready. And I'm going to hold that flower down and just slide this leaf out. So I haven't glued the flower down. You need to start sort of from the back to front. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to hold that down. I'm just going to slide that under where I wanted it, which was roughly there. Okay, so, and the next thing I want to do is stick this leaf under. Let's do this leaf first. What you can do is get some what's called Glad Wrap, which you can get in the UK, but only off Amazon. You cannot get it in, well, I've never seen it in a supermarket here. And it's like, it's cling film, but it's stickier. And you stick, right now I've got those on, I'm going to take these two off and stick that flower on. You stick it down on the whole thing, flip it over, put glue all over the back, and then flip it back on again. And it will glue, it will all stay in the same place. Oops, put it where I want it, and then it moves. About there. Oh, I've got some glue on my sheet. This is coming out. I think must be it's quite a new bottle. It's gushing out at the minute. Pop that one there. And then way too much glue on there. I'm going to put some on the back of this. And that goes there. So there we go. That's our arrangement of flowers. And then this glue. Pop the lid on. It's got a little thing that sort of spikes in it and stops it from flowing quite so much. Oops. There we go. How different does that look? And yeah, they're right. They do go together, those colours. I'm pleased with that. Right, so we're just going to pop some glue on the back. Let's see how much is... Ah, no, we're not. I did it with Stampin' Seal. When you're doing such a wide, smooth area of card, particularly white card, I find it's better if you stick it with tape because you will see the lines of the glue. So I'm now going to pop some tape on. Now, tape's brilliant, no wriggle room. Not strictly true, there is some wriggle room until you press it down. So if you're just holding it lightly, you do stand a chance. And you can always huff it and make it come off again. But it's better to try and get it right first time. So I've got that there and I'm just touching, not, see, just moved. I've not actually pressed it down, so it will come back off again, but it won't wiggle like wet glue does. So I'm getting all 3 borders roughly the same, just checking. Yep, happy with that. There we go. Okay, so I checked those 3 borders were the same and that was straight, and the rest of it falls into place. Okay, and then I've got the card blank. There we go, and that's going to fit on there, and I'm going to move back to the glue for this one. So I hope you've enjoyed this card, a bit different, a bit bigger than my standard card. It's not a new one because it's not coming out now. At least it's not squidging out like it was a minute ago. There we go. Just going to pop those 2 together, and this time obviously wet glue. I've got some wriggle room. There we go. I'm really pleased with that actually. I mean, I do love the subtle of this one, but I love the bright of this one as well, and I think Stampin' Up! Are right, they do go together, they tone well together. So 2 very different cards from the same stamps and layout. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye.